Examination POE has officially been released today, so parents take out. It is a hot day in KASESE district. But good afternoon and a very warm welcome to this afternoon's broadcast. My name is Winnie Kinembarazi Mushabe. We start off the bulletin after the country celebrated the Liberation Day yesterday. The army has also started different meetings ahead for the KASESE today celebrations, which is due on 6th of February in KASESE Stadium in Bara City. Our reporter reports.
After the country celebrated the Liberation Day yesterday, the army has also started different meetings ahead of the KASESE celebrations, which is due 6th Feb in KASESE Stadium in Bara City. Today, the army has put a national launch in Mbuya Army Headquarters, where all the resident district commissioners, army officers, and chairman LC5 around the country are expected to gather and discuss on how these celebrations will be conducted. While speaking to the resident district commissioner from Barara district, Imekatera Tudiabajenyi, he said that after this national launch today, tomorrow there will be a regional launch in Kazo district, where members from South region are expected to turn up for the meeting.
Twiniho program iriyo negendo mifu atayindu kugambira lizoba bakoraho a national launch elizoba erumbuya army headquarters eyi atendingwa ba RDC zobono mwihanga na chairpersons LC5 and army officers. A general national launch. Then nyencha kare naza kubaho ibakweta regional launch neza kuba mu district ya Kazo, kandi iyo regional launch neza kuba ne attendingwa southwestern region yon. Then Sunday naza kubaho district launch ituza ku launch injira district headquarters bizubera nka district konka umu program ezo twino program yeminyeto okurwo rwo kubanza erize kuba eri mu orientation, 1 week orientation, kandi nibiza kuba bari Arambara high school, nibiza kuba bari mu kushomesa mindset change, awareness creation and everything bamare Sunday yon. So far today, a resident district commissioner is to take a coordination meeting.
The guest checker is expected to be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is the commander-in-chief of the army.
Then mpaka tushikire ebiro mukaga kan national celebration zakubar KASESE Stadium hano ya kandi His Excellency the President no warabe ari umujenyi mukuru.
In preparation for the KASESE this one last month, the army has been carrying out different activities of extending their services to the local people, because the army itself is part of the society.
Abukuba amahe omuriye bibiro byona for the last 1 month mu district zitu ya Ntunga ya Isinjiro, Mbarara and other surrounding districts habirarmu activities z'amahe yagizwe nzikora. For example, Kambara district batru renovate injire irwaro area bwizwera health center for ibakwe proposal then bagarkaba ezo nozo activities ezirabenz gendo misho kandi byabamahe bari bakora ubwo bakugezaho promotinga civil military relationship abo kwa no manyamahigi tuga NRA ga government naga pro people ga kargumbantu so tugakwena nguga garke gargumbantu abo kuba ebiro mukaga February ikituriyo turwijukira nubwe amahe gasharamo kuri baratinga Uganda bakatandika ko attacking akabamba barracks that time kandi rutaro rukamara imyaka 5 so runako runduguma rwijukwa so hato kwijukwa ko rutanakorwe amahe genzere ngo mwenga.
Thank you, our reporter, for that report. In other stories, according to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the security agencies should be out in the line for punishment of letting banished crime to prevail. President also warns the authorities in the government-aided institutes against charging school fees to the students. Our reporter reports.
His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has vowed mega action against government officials after allegations grew that top public servants are involved in corrupt job scheming. According to Museveni, I have heard of girls being exploited sexually as a bribe for jobs. Devoted members of the public get evidence and we expand and roast those pigs and jail them in Rosita since it has abundant space for criminals, Museveni said yesterday. Official government data suggests that about 72% of Uganda's over 44 million population are aged under 35 amidst high levels of unemployment, which predisposes the youthful to inducement for jobs and high risks of employment fraud. Museveni revealed that he has had the Bazukulu, normally known as grandchildren, crying about the District Service Commission selling local government jobs, obtain evidence, and we jail these swines in Ruzira since there is abundant space for criminals. Museveni, with 78 years, emphasized. Additionally, a spotlight has long existed on several Ugandan government agencies where sectarianism is perceived preference for job acquisition. Yesterday, Museveni used his economy-dominated speech to underline that he believes sectarianism is both a criminal and electoral offense. Somebody can lose his office if it is proved that he or she assumed a position through sectarian channels. The poison should be eliminated, Museveni remarked at an event to celebrate 37 years since the ruling Nationalist Movement Party came to power. According to Museveni, security agencies should also be put in line of punishment for letting banished criminal crime prevail. The police, DSOs, and CIDs should also be on a notice. How does such a corruption go on in your area and you don't know or report? He told a mass gathering at Kakumiro district, mid-western Uganda. In 2018, Uganda scrapped school fees payment in government-aided learning institutions, but non-compliance to the directive partially accounts for the country's 64% dropout rate at secondary school level, according to Museveni. That's not acceptable. Some head teachers have continuously disregarded our directive, but I can assure you that we are disregarded our directive, but I can assure you that we are going to wage a serious war against them. Stay tuned. You will hear what we shall tell you in a few weeks. Corruption shall be stamped out, Museveni revealed. The revolutionary leader of the East African Union further guided that government must provide free education in primary, secondary and tertiary institutions since many families cannot yet afford educating children. He concluded his NRM Liberation Day address warning to get after people degrading the environment. He revealed that I want you to know that the most important thing for us all is the environment. Interfering with the environment is an act of grave enmity to our country, observed. For Gntv, Atkunda Matthias.
Thank you, our reporter, for that report. Uganda will surpass the middle income status easily in the near future, according to the President of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Our reporter reports.
Of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni middle income status to $48 billion by the end of June 2023, up from $1.5 billion in 1986 when he captured power. Current government data shows that Uganda's economy started 2023 on a weak footing, with the country's public debt stock rising beyond 86 trillion Ugandan shillings amidst hardships, but Museveni projects a GDP per capita of $1,067 by financial year 2023-2024. According to Museveni, we are going to add more value to more of our raw materials like coffee and cotton. This will jumpstart our economy to $500 billion in a fairly short time, the Ugandan leader said at the 37th anniversary of the ruling Nationalist Movement Party. He added, "This middle income we are talking about is mainly a raw material producing economy. Europeans benefit from the sleeping Africans by doing value addition." According to Museveni, he doesn't want to hear this economy of $40 billion, $50 billion, or $60 billion. That is an economy at the traditional NRM stronghold district of Kakumiro in midwestern Uganda. Museveni encouraged Ugandans to focus on wealth creation. Every adult must engage in the 4 sectors of wealth creation that include commercial, agriculture, industrialization, service provision, and ICT. Museveni, who is now 78 years, further viewed that the broad spectrum of value addition will enhance his economic outlook, since Uganda now has all enablers of wealth creation. According to Museveni, we now have the electricity and other developments such as hospitals, security, and education, which are a foundation of domestic wealth creation that can end poverty. We have raw materials increasingly. We have the entrepreneurs as well as the African market, Museveni said.
Attended the NRM's 37th liberation ceremony at Kacheka in Kahumuro district. While giving out her speech, the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, thanks the government of the National Resistance Movement for the infrastructure development in the area, like the roads. The Vice President of Uganda, Dr. Jessica Alupo, also thanked the continued peace that the government has provided to the northern people. Let's take a look.
Hundreds and hundreds of Ugandans attended the NRM's 37th liberation ceremony at Kakeka in Kakumiro district yesterday. While giving out her speech, the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Nabanja, thanked the government of NRM for the infrastructure development in their area, especially roads.
Your Excellency and Mama, the people of Kakumiro, Munyoro sub-region, and all Ugandans appreciate the fundamental change ushered in by yourself and the NRM government, and that is why over the years we have overwhelmingly voted for you and the NRM leaders. And let me take this opportunity to thank all Ugandans for supporting you, Mr. President, from the days of UPM and eventually the NRM government. This is because of the numerous achievements that include peace and security. Your Excellency, the other achievement we have attained is democracy, where we have been able to elect our leaders even after 5 years. That's a big achievement. Your Excellency, infrastructure. Before the NRM government, there was no tarmac roads in Bunyoro sub-region. Munu akaba atali mu nguudo, itwe batulangiraga omucuucu. Mukama wange President ningonza kusiima n'abataka nywena musiime enguudo za chorus.
The Vice President of Uganda, Dr. Jessica Alupo, also thanked the continued peace that the government has provided for her people in the north.
Your Excellency, what I'm trying to suggest is that the NRM under your leadership has created an enabling environment which has made Ugandans to be tightly united and speaking one language of transformation. I stand here to say that because the people of northern Uganda, when I was coming, told me to communicate to you that with that peace and security which they have received for the first time since independence, uninterrupted, they are very sure that you are the only leader who can continue anchoring that kind of peace in northern Uganda.
Mbagala nnyo webale kutulondera bakazi mu kintu kino kenjagala okwogera ako webale kulonda bakyala naddala twali tulowooza osaaga naye watuwa buludoza mama Prime Minister mu butuufu His Excellency nzomanyi sirimba watuwa omukazi akola wansi mukyala atuuka muwina atuuka mu butale bwawe atuuka abo be bantu betwagala webale kumutuwa webale tuwa Vice President mukyala webale kulonda Speaker wa Parliament mukyala Hajjati Nakadama she's here kati tukyakubanja kisebo kulembera mpaka lwolifa.
Your Excellency, sir, on behalf of all the Ugandans who do not have the chance to speak through this microphone today, allow me to commend you for the NRM government's fulfillment of the promise to improve household incomes. This is becoming a reality through the parish development model. I appeal to leaders at all levels not to look at this program as Mzei's program and to effect leaving responsibility of sensitizing the people to him, but come out collectively to mobilize the people in your areas to participate and monitor its implementation. Mzee Museveni has set a tone at the top to ensure that the program succeeds. It's up to you as leaders to be creative and work out the effective and efficient ways of implementing the program. And this is the only way we can achieve transformation of this country and to secure the future of the next generation.
The MPs sitting on the forum of Uganda's Parliament on social protection have come out today to condemn the government to remove money that has been being given to the elderly people. Our reporter reports.
MPs sitting on Forum of Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Social Protection have come out to condemn the government's move to remove money that has been given to elderly people. While speaking to journalists at Parliament, they said that they can't agree with the Ministry of Finance to remove all hopes of elderly people. It should be noted that elderly people have been earning 25,000 Ugandan shillings from government, which is thought to be scrapped off in the coming financial year budget of 2023-2024. According to MPs, what the government is saying that they have been included in parish development model, which some MPs termed it as a nightmare. They called upon government to give out 135 billion Ugandan shillings to see that these elderly people can get their money.
I want to join the rest in condemning the removal of the Social Protection Fund. Honestly, where some of us grew from, we have been looked after by the elderly. I remember how my grandmother would struggle to look for the slippery leaves to give us food. And now there are so many orphans, there are so many vulnerable children who are left in the hands of the elderly. Now removing this money, honestly, is just a way of sentencing the elderly to death. This is just government condemning these people to death, because this money means a lot to them. We cannot say we are transforming the future, we are securing people's future. Which future now? When you are trying to kill off those who have given us life. The elderly, they say, once you're old, that is wisdom.
Ng'abaana abato abakyali abato ng'aba youth ng'abantu abaliko obulemu olabira ddala nga tebalina kisaawadde ne kitulaga nti wano mu Uganda okugenda okutulangirira poverty free ndowooza kyetaaga nti abanaku baffe balyoke batudeclaring poverty free. Naye bwe baba nga baagala okwedeclaringa poverty free nga tebalina kye bakozeewo nga tebaagala nakuwaayo ssente okulaba nga abanaku nabo basobola okukwatirwako ku mbeera ne basobola okubaawo n'okulama okusinziira ku mbeera gye bayitamu. Ffe ate kitufuula abantu abatalina na baturepresentinga kubanga bw'olaba ssente za sage ng'abakadde bakyali ku myaka 8 n'okugenda waggulu ate nga ssente ziri mu groups zigweyo groups endala zireme kufuna kuga tutambulire ku ekyo bo bagende balabike nga abagenda mu maaso.
Oyongera ogataamu era ndikubiriza bamemba ba palamenti abakayira abatyama mu palamenti ya Uganda n'aba representinga interest groups donadona nti mutayikiriza abisa budget ng'esente edda abantu abeetaaga oyambibwa tidikoleibwako twegeme kirala tutayikiriza abisa budget erikuyiraku.
Za Asimwe Kajese for GNTV at 12.
Thank you, Dza Asimwe, for that report. For now, allow us to take a quick commercial break. We'll return back with more stories.
This is GNTV, releasing life.
Ekirooto kya buli muziire weena no kuhereza umwana we cyo kukireyo burungi yikiriza nkwanjurira amashomero ga Midland Parents Boarding Secondary Schools agegurira izina omukubangura bejo mugenge bw'enzarwa hamwe no kubahereza obukugo bwo kwikiriza biroto byabe bya Nyesakari amashomero agaga lyamusinje gwoburokore bwenyini twine campus ibiri emwerika woto muri Kajyansi hamwe na Karagara Mpigi haruguto rwa Kampala nibakira bojo hamwe nabishiki kandi ni boarding yonka ebyo kwerinda ishomereri nebyo murembe buzima nibashomesa arts hamwe na sciences kandi beyandikise na ministry y'ububegese hamwe n'ebyemizano bine na center number tukwetenga shopping abwo kube bitabo obucumu uniform nangwa n'entambule iri kusiyo mwana wawe ishomero byona nibo bikuhera busha ecyo kwetenga ni admission form y'emitwaro 5 kandi school fees n'emitwaro 9 na mwenda zonka bakwigurireho office muri Mbarara aha Ikla building ali Victor Bwana Road aha Mwarara gwa kabiri room F21 okumanya bekukiraho no basa kubatereza mu ya 0 na munana makumyana 02 ninga gamba na director wenyini asimo ya 0 abiri na mushanju abiri ni 3 9 na munana
kinayu kinyumira whether it is Katogo, Chikomando, Rolex Majasa to Nyanya Mbisi. Man, wherever I am, I enjoy Chinayu with your TV channels on my phone.
Nyumiro omurembo omupya ogujjudde ebisanyusa omuli emikutu gya TV egisuka mu 8 n'egya radio nga kwotadde ne zifirimu ng'osinziirira wonna w'oli genda mu app store oteeke app ya TV channels ku simu yo olwo Nyumiro ennaku 3 ng'olabira bwereere ewatali kozesa data. Yo TV channels.
This is Gntv, releasing life.
Welcome back from that quick break. Glad you're still watching Gntv at 12. We're still moving with the bulletin. Uganda's electricity sector is taking a giant leap forward. This is according to the Uganda Regulatory Authority over the export MW in 2021. Our reporter reports.
While Uganda was celebrating the Liberation Day in Kakumiro district, making 37 years since the Nationalist Army under the leadership of President Museveni seized power on January 26, 1986, yesterday, electricity have been rejuvenated according to the government honchos. At the time, electricity generation was a paltry 60 megawatts to power a few industries and homes in urban areas. According to the Electricity Regulatory Authority, over the years, a gradual increase in the installed capacity has been observed, standing at 1,346.6 megawatts in 2021. In the same year, hydroelectricity contributed the highest installed capacity of 1,072.9 megawatts, constituting 79.7% of the total capacity. This was followed by thermal and bagasse cogeneration electricity, each contributing a proportion of 8.2% and 7.5% of the total installed capacity, respectively. The electricity supply industry in Uganda has gone through a very interesting revolution, says Engineer Wako, Chief Executive Officer of Electricity Regulatory Authority. Chief Executive Officer of Electricity Regulatory Authority. This story is globally envied. Uganda has moved affected the maximum demand, which measures the highest level of electricity power demand registered in a particular period. The peak demand dropped to as low as 588.5 megawatts in April 2020 from 707 megawatts in February 2020. Maximum demand recovered and increased by 205.5 megawatts, registering a maximum value of 794 megawatts in 2021. More so, in the year 2010, the UHCL experienced some stagnation in energy purchases and sales as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The industry thereafter started recovering after the restrictions were relaxed gradually through 2021. In 2021, the electricity body energy purchases amount of 5.024 with sales of 4,801. As a country, we are on track, says Dr. Wasagari Kanavi, chairperson, Board of Electricity Regulatory Authority. She says ERA is now focusing on 3 areas. A first of connection for electricity. Customers who do not require a pole to be connected has been reduced from 720,883 to 470. 20,000, which the customer can pay as a lump sum or make down payment of 200 and access the credit line. Any bad debt will be considered a subsidy to the customers of Rockefeller Foundation. In the last 5 years, Uganda's distribution network expanded by 33% from the total length of 40,525 kilometers in the financial year 2016-2017 to 53,733 kilometers in the financial year 2020-2021. Bahunji says through a sustainable integrated approach from generation, transmission, regulation and distribution, but with the energy sector. Electricity Regulatory Authority says with the able leadership of President Museveni and the NRM government under the stewardship of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, the subsector has made its contribution to the country's socio-economic transformation. Energy Minister Ruth Nankaiwa says Ugandans need to continue being patient as the country moves to middle income status. Engineer Ziria says it has been a journey of a lot of focus, adding we sacrifice for all of us to build the power supply industry sector that the globe admires. We now have a rope to stand on and even thrive better. For GNTV, Amatkunda Matthias. Amatkunda Matthias.
Reporter Tukunda Matthias for that report. The National Identity and Registration Authorities has asked parents to utilize the mass registrations window during this holiday to register for the national identification numbers for their children in this campaign. Our reporter has details.
The National Identification and Registration Authority has asked parents to utilize the mass registration window during this holiday to register for national identification numbers for their children. NERA is registering students and issuing national IDs to students who were registered in 2017 and are now 16 and eligible in a campaign dubbed My Holiday Plot. Several parents with their children have already started turning up at the Kololo ceremonial grounds to take part in the My Holiday Plot exercise. NERA plans to register and issue IDs to over 9 million students who were registered and received national identification numbers NIN in 2017.
Ones that have not been registered, NERA is supposed to even go to those schools that are not registered. Every government or private school, registered or not registered, will all be registered in this exercise. The children will be registered.
The exercise also allows verification for those who entered wrong data and those that did not get NINs. Requirements for the registration includes photocopies of the parent's national IDs and presence of a biological parent or a close relative for orphans, and also go along with a letter from the district internal security officer DISO or the Gombora internal security officer GISO. The manager registration and operations at NERA, Edwin Kamhebwa, said NERA worked jointly with the Uganda National Examination Board and the Ministry of Education.
Because these are the numbers we are going to use for PLOE. No more numbers for registering for PLOE. This will be the number. So let's say your child is, you are receiving a sanction, unfortunately, through your child. If this child has no number, this child cannot cross from P7 to senior 1. If this child has no number, this child will not be able to move from secondary to university.
The exercise is ongoing to various locations countrywide. Tukamhebwa added that the registration exercise will run through the week and weekends until students return to school. Za Asimwa Kajese for GNTV at 12.
We desire a signal for that report. Community development officers from Rwanda district in Kigezi region in Kigezi sub-region have been encouraged that human rights are upheld in their societies. It was revealed from a one-day training of human rights by Kabale Region Human Rights Office. Our reporter has details.
Community Development Officers, CDOs from Rubanda District in Kigezi sub-region have been encouraged that human rights are upheld in the societies they operate from. This was revealed from a one-day training of human rights by Kabale Regional Human Rights Office. The Human Rights Officer attached to the Human Rights Office, Teofista Twembi, says that they opted to train the CDOs at the promotion of the fundamental rights because they reach out to avert the burdened people in their day-to-day activities.
Uganda Human Rights Commission, especially the Uganda Human Rights Commission Kabale Regional Office, we are here today in Rwanda District to train community development officers, basically to know more about rights of people, duties and responsibilities of people, and to know the laws that govern us as Ugandans. We've identified community development officers because they play a very big role in the communities. They are at the grassroots. So whatever human rights violations occur at the grassroots, they are always the first people whom these people whose rights have been violated approach. So for us as Uganda Human Rights Commission, we thought if we train them and we build their capacity, they can always assist those people whose rights have been. The regional office, we are still new in Kigezi region, but our plan is to sensitize all the district CDOs, all the community development officers in all the districts that cover the Kigezi region. From Rubanda, we shall go to other districts like Kisoro, like Kanungu, Rukunjiri, Rubanda, and Ruchiga, so that the moment we train these people, maybe we can see very few violations coming from the grass.
She also asked those who acquired the skills to be role models in their societies in human rights promotion.
My message to the CDOs is to really do their part. If they were identified by groups of people, to lead them, let them be good leaders. I wouldn't be very comfortable if I find a CDO being the one violating people's rights. They shouldn't ask for bribes in doing their job. Let them do their job as they promote and protect the rights of people within their community.
The Rubanda District Speaker Mary Waguma and Tofil Sabit, the Rubanda District Community Officer, noted that such training is vital in equipping the relevant technical officers with human rights protection basics.
Prepared these officers from the villages to come and hear this information. They have given us what we are supposed to give to our communities. The role play itself and done it all. That's what we have in our communities. Make sure that you fall in that group. Let every group be in your hands. Don't work with the airites only, but know that they are the villagers, the local ones at the grassroots. Mostly the vulnerable. The women are facing challenges down there, much as men are facing, but majority are women. We have violence in our district. Let us please use this chance, the knowledge that we have got from these people. Let us use it to assist those homes. I want to thank the technical wing. The technical wing, Carl, for giving us time to be with us from the beginning to the end. My politicians, thanks for honoring the invitation of the DCDO, and I want to thank the DCDO in front of you implementing council resolutions. We have been forcing a gap between technical and political.
Twe nk'abantu abarakora officers abarakora n'abantu uburemezo buturakira kutunga kurangu ubugabo buri kunyigirizibwa bataramanya ngo ubugabe bwabo buri kunyigirizibwa. Ikindi no basa kushanga abashemerwa barayamba abantu kugira ngo ubugabe bwabo babutungo mu bwijwire batari kubayamba kandi nabo batarabimanya. Icyo kureberaho kushanga nkaba abo turakoraga nabo nkaba Rusizi bo bonka bataramanya je ubugabe bw'abantu ububine no kubashemere kubugwanirira. So ejo ibire challenge mpango mununga konko kucira mununga no kushanga umuntu ubugabe bwe buri kunyigirizibwa konka wonka ataramanya ngo ari kunyigirizibwa kandi hina harabasa kwirukira. So shanga aho kwirukira ataragira ki atarahamanya. So kimureke umurya ku kahuriko ako kunyigirizibwa.
Violation of human rights remains one of the main challenges affecting democracy realization in developing countries. Comfort Hilale for Gntv at 12.
Muhammad Mubaje has joined fellow Muslims around the world to condemn the banning of the Quran. Our reporter reports.
The Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, has joined fellow Muslims around the world to condemn the banning of Quran by Rasmus Paludan, the Swedish-Danish far-right leader, outside the Turkey's embassy in Stockholm, Sweden. Mubaje expressed his disappointments in his statement issued by Sheikh Muhammad al-Waiswa, the second deputy Mufti, at a meeting organized by the Islamic from 69 countries. The participants included ministers, top Muslim clerics, Muslim leaders, scholars and academicians, among others. In his remarks, Sheikh Waswa paid tribute to Turkey's government for standing up to safeguard the face of Islam globally and organizing a timely meeting to respond to the hateful crime and desecration of the Quran. Waswa noted that the abuse of divine Islam ritual isn't new. He said there are need to emulate Prophet Muhammad's responses in handling miseries as they unfolded during various events in his lifetime. Recent British far-right a copy of the Holy Quran in front of the Turkish embassy in Stockholm under the protection of Swedish police. The incident has not only drawn condemnation from Muslims worldwide, but many non-Muslim leaders also expressed their disapproval of it. A large segment of Europeans, including many strong voices inside Sweden, have defended this vile act under the pretext of upholding freedoms of speech, Swedish Islam's holy book, and describing it as an attempt to sabotage the country's NATO bid. Its decision allowed this neo-sitting spectacle sent a clear message to Muslims worldwide that the Nordic state has no respect for the followers of Islam. Muslims in Uganda condemned the banning of Quran during a protest in Sweden, describing it as a vile act. Muslims considered the Quran the sacred word of God and view any international danger or show of disrespect towards it is as deeply offensive. Turkey is a majority Muslim country. Its Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement denouncing the act, which it had said happened despite repeated warnings. Za Asimwe KASESE for Gntv at 12.
Thank you, Desire Asime, for that report. And that report sums up the afternoon's bulletin. Thank you so much for being part of the bulletin from the time we started up to the time we're wrapping up. On behalf of the entire news production team, many thanks for your company. Back to you to the releasing center, and you continue in with the lunch hour service. My name is Winnie Kinembabazi Mushabe. Stay blessed.